And from the National Forest to Oregon's only national park, agencies want you to know that it's National Invasive Species Awareness Week. I spoke with a USDA botanist on how we can all work together to avoid the spread of invasive species.
Invasive species, if left unchecked and not addressed, threaten native species.
Botanist Stacy Johnson with the Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest says invasive species can grow quickly in gardens, landscapes, and the forest.
They also threaten biodiversity, ecosystem services, recreation, water quality, and also agricultural systems.
That's why several government agencies are trying to spread the word about National Invasive Species Awareness Week, which runs February 28th through March 4th this year.
They can be a wide-scale problem.
For example, Crater Lake National Park says before the late 1800s, there were no fish. Fish were introduced in the lake for tourists until 1941. Now, there are over 50,000 fish in the lake.
It's not just invasive plants, that's obviously my specialty, but they all pose a really big threat to our healthy, functioning native plant communities.
Since the fish are invasive, Crater Lake allows fishing with no license and no size, catch, or possession restrictions. But in order to limit other invasive species, only non-organic artificial lures are allowed.
Everyone can prevent the spread of invasive species and prevent impacts from invasive species.
Johnson says Oregonians can help by not planting these plants in their garden and instead opting for native plants. She also urges people to clean their equipment, hiking boots, and cars when they go from landscape to landscape. This prevents any invasive seeds from being carried from one place to another.
It's much easier to prevent an invasive species than it is to treat the invasive species.
Johnson says she studies about 60 species, but the most common invasive species she sees are Scotch broom, yellow star thistle, English ivy, and poison hemlock. If you think you might have an invasive species on your land, you can call the Oregon Noxious Weed Control Office at 503-986-4621.